start recording. So it is working now. So hello, good day. Nice to see you.
Hello, bro. Good day
Um,
to you too.
thank you. Let's start with the basics. What is your name and what do you do?
Okay. So my name is Diego. I'm from Spain and I currently also live in Spain. And right now I'm the head of engineer of a company called Buen Dia Tours, where we sell experience for tourists, that kind of thing, where you hire a guy or a girl and shows you around towns or
Hmm.
attractions of that kind of thing.
So it's only guided tours, or does it involve other things, like, for
No,
example, collaborations with hotels or whatnot?
no, right now that's a really good question. You should talk to the business people. They will be they will, they will be amazed with you and your ideas. But right now we only sell that kind of experience where you hire a local guide to show you around. It could be someone who takes you around town, and it could also be somebody who takes you to a museum, and that's kind of a group tour
Hmm.
around that theme. Something that I experienced myself, and I recommend, especially on like big museums and something like that. I was in the British Museum recently
Hmm.
with a tour guide, and the experience was completely different from me myself going through the whole thing, and not having like a like a story to be told, going through
Uh,
one place to another without putting together the pieces, like having someone to actually say, you know what, you're not gonna see everything, but I'm gonna tell you kind of a story where
hmm.
you see the pieces go together. It was an amazing experience, to be honest. So,
Yeah, because now you mentioning that brings to memory my experience at the various musea, where I would just hang around, and I was like, okay, cool. Now I guess it's time for me to leave. Like,
yes, yes, like, oh, did I see what I am supposed to see? And what does it mean? Was this important? And I don't know. Yeah, so having someone, and especially if it's someone who really likes what he's doing. So
hmm.
this guy was kind of on top of the archaeological news, which was completely alien to me. Um, and he was like, you know what, this right here it says this, but there's this archaeological guy in Egypt that right now is starting to confront this kind of thing because this and that and whatnot. It was awesome. Yeah,
Oh, amazing, amazing.
yeah.
Okay, so I want to revisit this topic, but first let's go a bit back because you said you are the head of engineering, and of course
Yes,
you use Emacs. So I want to start with Emacs.
yes.
Then I want to learn
Okay,
more a bit about the industry, and then we can talk about the intersection with
perfect.
archaeology and
Okay.
stuff. So tell me a little bit, like, okay, so you use Emacs, or like, what is your work like? Like, what do you do with Emacs?
So right now I use Emacs. So I'm this kind of person that, if able to, will use Emacs for everything. Um, even sometimes for things that I'm don't feel. Sometimes you don't feel very comfortable doing, but it's like I feel an inner pain when I'm not doing it in Emacs. So right now, my kind of my whole workday, except for video conferencing, well, I use a lot of the web browsing. Um, Even though I use WE
Hmm.
also, but most of the time I use a normal browser. I take a lot of notes using org mode, especially. And even though I do not program as much as I used to, I always, in every place that I work, even if I'm in a managing position, I always make sure to have the development environment set up. So depending on the technology, I have to do different things on Emacs. I used to do Ruby on Rails, so I have
Uh-huh.
a years worth of configuration for Ruby and Ruby on Rails, but right now I'm on the PHP realm, so I have to
Mm,
relearn and see how was the state of the art for image and with PHP, which I think is great, to be honest.
okay.
Um, so I do that. I always have my programming environment ready to testing, to try new ideas, to help other developers debug things and whatnot. As I said, I took a lot of notes without a system worth mentioning. We can talk about that later if in case you have any ideas. Uh, and I do so I use org mode also to keep track of. I do kind of a lot of um, one-time scripting things. Um,
Mm,
and what I do with org mode is that I use bubble source blocks
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
to keep track of the things that I'm doing, because all those things don't go into the repository. And in case I mess up or I do something, or I have to tell somebody, hey, I want to do this server, I do this thing, I do this other thing, I can go to my org file and say, this is what I did, this is the code, this is the result, because I usually evaluate the result. So a lot of my org notes look like the history of what I've been doing
mm-hmm,
that day.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So like a work
I
log kind of thing.
Yes, yes,
Mm-hmm,
yes. I use for especially especially for focusing. I use Pomodoros. So I set myself 25 minutes blocks and then 5 minutes of breaks. So I use Org Pomodoro for that.
good,
And
good.
then I wrote a little Lisp function that so the pomodoros are assigned to org to org headings, which are usually to do. So
Okay.
when I finish one, it automatically makes a clock report telling me the
Mm,
amount of time that I actually been doing. Like because sometimes I don't respect the Pomodoro time. Sometimes 25 minutes, but sometimes 35 if I'm in the flow or whatever. So every time I stop, it gives me a report, and it's also in the OR file saying, okay, you've been working in these tasks for 4 hours,
mm-hmm,
3 hours, whatever. So I also can go look if I am actually managing the things that I want to manage,
mm-hmm.
and also to realize sometimes like, oh, I've been spending like a lot of time in these things and I don't know if it's worth it. So that kind of stuff.
Okay, okay, very interesting. So org Pomodoro, because of course I had the idea of the Pomodoro technique where you just set it independent of any project.
Uh-huh.
Like I have 25 minutes for whatever, but from what I
Uh-huh.
understand here, you also or it also integrates with the org clock mechanism.
Yes, yes. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay, okay,
absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely. It
Mm,
writes the log entry with the clock in, clock out time.
okay, okay.
It's assigned to the org heading that you actually call upon the org Pomodoro command.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
yeah, and I always work like that. Like I decide the block. So I've never have free blocks. I always
Ah.
uh, I mean, for myself, my own mental framework, I always assign the time to a specific task. So it works for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have like, because of course now, from what I understand, you are kind of regimented in that regard. Do you have like an agenda as well? Do you do org agenda or do you have some way of?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, I have an org agenda that I professionally neglect most of the time. I'm super good at doing that. I put myself deadlines, and then I like to see them pass. I say bye with my hand most of the time, but I do I do that, and
Well,
every day I check my agenda and say, okay, yesterday you said you're gonna do this and this, so this is what you're gonna do, and never happens.
well, that
Uh,
takes some skill. It's not that easy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I do.
Good, good.
I only use I use deadlines,
Hmm.
and but for me deadlines I use them to remind myself more when I have to work on that more
Uh-huh.
than actual deadlines.
Okay.
So there's probably a better way, and something that has more significance in the org lingo to mark those kind of things. But for me, that's what I do. And also, I have some recurring tasks that I have to do like every week or something like that. And I have the recurring task thing on the org mode, so it pops
Hmm.
up on my agenda.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I think if org had an extra keyword for timestamps, which would be like start, I think
Yeah,
that because now we have scheduled, deadline, and the plain timestamp. I
yeah, I
think
think
I,
so.
I think if we had like an extra, which would be like start or begin or something like that, that would help. Because
Yes,
also when I have meetings, like for example, my meeting with you, it's like deadline and the given time,
exactly.
but
Yeah.
it's actually our start time. It's not like end time. But yeah, anyway. Tell me,
And for yeah, yeah, yeah. Go
no,
ahead, go ahead.
no, no, please, finish
No,
that
I
thought.
was saying that yeah, I could wish for more stuff in Earth mode, or I can even try to write it myself. But then at the same time, I'm like, Diego, you are already ignoring your own system, which is pretty simple. Imagine if you even have more options so you can ignore them. So yeah,
But of course, what you are saying speaks to a problem that I would say everybody has these days, including myself, of course, which is like there are so many options, and then your default impression is that you have to use all of them. And then, of
yes,
course, you
yeah,
use none of them because it makes no sense.
yeah.
Whereas a very restricted feature set will make you, let's say, 80% of your optimum. And that's already better than nothing.
I actually wrote myself. So my system is is wrote in a node file or something like that. Like I think one day in the past I have that realization. Like I was kind of deep in the org mode, and I say, oh, I'm gonna learn everything. I'm gonna go through the manual, start from the introduction, and it was like, no, this is not working for you. So I sit down and wrote myself like a 5 points commandment. So this is what you're gonna use. This is you will have to do. You have deadlines. You will have one big as or file, and this is it. And it's right. And I share it with some of with my coworkers who also use Emacs. I mean, one of them only,
Hmm.
but um, so yeah, sometimes too many options uh, it's not that good, especially if you are not able to make a decision.
Because that's exactly the problem is when you have those liminal kind of spaces where it's something that could be between two things, and it's
Uh-huh.
like, okay, should I pick this, should I pick that, it could be this and that, this or that, and of course that kind of indecision adds friction, and eventually you just let it there.
Yeah, and other thing that happens to me is like for the longest time, it happened to me like that my mindset was okay. There must be one way to use this thing correctly, and you can probably extrapolate those things to more things in my life, like oh, it must be like one way to do things correctly. Like it's okay not to do it correctly, but it must be one way. And then at some point in life, I grow older, and I don't know if a little bit wise, and I say, Diego, no, like just just do the thing, and whatever. Most of those things are not even for other people, are for you. What do you mean, like doing it correctly? Is it working for you? Is it
Hmm.
is and that's okay. But sometimes I was stopped and take aback by myself, saying, no, I'm not gonna do this unless I know how to do it perfectly. And it doesn't make, now that I say it out loud, it makes absolutely no nonsense. But for the longest time, I was of the thought that that was the way to do things.
Hmm.
So don't do
Hmm.
that, guys. Like just do the thing. Do the thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's better to do it imperfectly than not to do it at all, basically.
Yes.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I- and I mean the most of the time, the first time you start doing things and learning things, you are going to do it incorrectly. Like
Anyway.
for example, I've seen your project of the hut, and I know you didn't have construction experience in the beginning, and I'm sure that you, I'm not gonna say you made mistakes and do it, but when you finish something, you probably say, oh,
Yeah.
now that I know how to do this,
Hmm.
I will do that differently.
Yeah.
But if you take like all the time in the world to say, no, I'm gonna research everything before I put the first stone and what's the perfect way, you've never built your home,
Yeah. In the
bro. So
meantime, you are homeless or dead.
yes, yeah.
But yeah, that's exactly it. And here I have learned like the one thing that I would have done different is the insulation where the wall meets the floor.
Uh-huh.
That part there, better insulate that part. But yeah, of course, that you learn by doing it. Of course, you can research it, and as you said, but time is comes at a premium. And in the meantime, you are giving something up. So there is what the
Yes.
economists call an opportunity cost.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So you are giving something up, and then you have to consider that as well.
Will you be able to improve the insulation right now with the current state of
Yes,
things?
yes. So I was supposed to do it last week, but I had this issue with the wildfire, so I didn't.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, okay. It was a troublesome moment, troublesome days, but eventually it's good. The thing is, now I cannot do it because there is the moon. We are approaching the full moon, so it's more humid. So I have to wait for the moon to go in its degrowth phase, and then I
uh-huh.
will do it. So yeah, in
Okay.
let's say 10 days.
Cool. Good luck with that.
Thank you, thank you. So you said a bit about PHP, Ruby, and stuff. Um,
Uh-huh.
do you have a first of all? Do you have a development environment that mirrors what your colleagues will be using? Like maybe you are their manager, but you still need to have what they have so that you are on the same page, kind of thing.
Yeah. So uh, the thing is that I do not impose the at all the development environment for the rest of the development team. They can use whatever editor they. I mean, they are choosing wrong if they are not choosing Emacs, but I mean, uh, but they can use whatever they want. Um, the only strong rule is that at any given point in time, you should be able to run the application that we are working on. You should be able to debug it, and I mean, you should be able to push code to the repository, run the tests,
Mhm.
and whatnot. So everybody in the team is able to do that. Some people do that. With VS Code. Some people, I think we only have like yeah, two flavors of editors and stacks right now. So there's one guy in the development team that also use Emacs,
Mhm.
and the rest of the people use VS Code. But yeah, basically do the same. And also, I think we use also there's people using Mac OS, and there are people using Linux, and there's people using Windows.
Oh, by
And
choice, you mean?
yes, so Yes, and the thing is with the people with Windows is that they they are they are so close to use Linux because most of the things that they use they use these the Windows subsystem for the Linux subsystem for Windows. So they are basically there, like the things.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the force of habit of being using Windows from the very beginning and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
again, I don't care as long as the
Mm-hmm.
work is done, and we do have a little bit of overhead maintaining documentation on how to bootstrap the development environment for the three.
Mm.
But I think, but to be honest, if people are happier that way, I will take that overhead. It's okay. So
Sounds like a good
you,
trade-off. Yeah, yeah, yeah. To have.
yeah, you want you want your developers happy. You want people happy, and you want your. I mean, they are professionals. Like if
Mm-hmm.
they they need to have the autonomy to choose their own tooling and to do whatever they want. This is not college. This is not university where you have to do whatever. So yeah, as long as I have a say on those kind of things, everybody could use whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, subpar options if they are not using Emacs. Every time they show me something and say like, we've been doing this in Emacs from the 70s. What are you talking about? You cannot do this. I can do that in Emacs. They hate me.
Maybe they will learn eventually.
I don't know about that.
Tell me about the developer rather experience. How is it like? Because of course you start the profession, you get VS Code, everything is set up for you, and basically
Mhm,
you don't have to think about it. But somebody who is using Emacs,
mhm.
like let's say I want to get into PHP development right now, what sort of setup do I need apart from the general things I know about Emacs?
Okay, so in my case, I use so first of all, and I think the experience will change depending if your development environment is based on Docker or not.
Okay.
I will focus on the Docker one because it's the one that I have experience because we use Docker in this case,
Okay.
and that will change. At least there's one thing that changed if you use Docker or not, and I will go on that on a little bit. So you basically need LSP mode. Um, I I think I mean you can make so iglot works, but for the booking part, you actually need some of the infrastructure that is made available by the LSP client from VS Code, and
Okay.
like the experience to installing it and doing the setup is more straightforward in that way. So I'm not ruling out Eglot in that case, but in my case I use
Mm-hmm.
LSP mode. So you use LSP mode. You basically call I think you install the PHP mode package,
Mm-hmm.
and then you basically set PHP setup, and it's able to download the piece of code that is actually from the Visual Studio Code code
Mm-hmm.
base, even though it's open source, with this client server side information to communicate between
Mm-hmm.
the LSP server and the
So it downloads the language server itself.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
it does that for you, which
Mm-hmm.
is where it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
you need to do a little bit of tweaking on the on what is called the template for the booking
Okay.
only.
Okay, okay.
So for when you start a debugging session, first of all, you need to use DAP mode, but
Okay.
not tape. And I
Yes.
and you use DAP mode because in DAP mode you can configure it via those templates. So in Docker, you can map code between the Docker instance and your actual code. And you cannot do at the time, you cannot
Oh.
do that with Dave. So the thing is that
Okay.
you could use Dave and start a debugging session. And if everything is set up correctly, it will work, but it will lose track of where your current execution is because it's not able
Hmm.
to map. Like you said, oh, this is in this file, but this file is in Docker in some place, but in your machine is in other place. So I have no idea where we are.
I see. I see.
Whereas with DAP mode, you can actually say, okay, map this route to this other route, and it automatically makes sure that your breakpoints work, that your stake trace remains uh, remains constant. You can
Mm-hmm.
move around and it keeps track on Emacs.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean regarding Emacs, I think I also have set up the three-seater PHP
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
grammar,
Mm-hmm.
but it's
Mm-hmm.
not necessary. I mean, but if you are into that kind of thing,
What do you use it for? So of course it's not necessary, but let's say you want to promote it to people. What is three sitter good for?
so in theory, you should be able to leverage, um, for example, um, code folding capabilities and code analytic capabilities. So the things with 3C is that it normally when you parse a file, what it used to be done in Emacs, you parse a file and you do it with regular expressions.
Correct.
So oversimplifying things is like there's no logic in your file. Like it's a file that you're parsing and you try to colorize in and try and whatnot. But with 3-seater, you have 3-seater installed. You actually could say, hey, tell me what's the structure of this file, and it will tell you, hey, this file has one root node, there is this one, and it has this child node, and then it has this other children node. This children node has this type and whatnot. And because you have a structure, you can actually manipulate that structure.
Mm-hmm.
So there are
Mm-hmm.
other packages that take advantage of that. So things as simple as code folding,
Yes.
um, doing it with regular expressions sometimes is difficult. In Ruby, it was impossible. I use a hack thing for years, but anyway, and with this thing, you will be able. I actually wrote for myself or start writing for myself a little library to do code folding
Okay.
the way I like it, and with that structure you can say, hey, when I call code folding in this place, please tell me I'm inside an if block. If that's the case, I want to
Mm-hmm.
code fold in this way. If I'm in the middle of a function, do that. If I'm in a class level, do that kind of thing. And that's much easier to do it if you have a structured thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then theoretically, there are other packages which let you do like big refactors, and you can colorize things more precisely than with regular expressions. So that kind of things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And of course, other packages, meaning external to Emacs, will be able to
Yeah,
leverage the abstract syntax tree, but also stuff
absolutely.
built into Emacs. Like if you look at the definition of a major mode, like some of the typical things that it does is, of course, it applies the colors. It defines indentation rules. It
Yes.
also defines the I menu, which is the semantic outline of the document,
Oh, okay.
and stuff like that. So, of course, this, in addition to external packages, and you have a more
I didn't know
accurate.
that.
Yeah, if you.
I didn't know that the e menu was actually leveraging 3C3. It makes sense, but I didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah, so like in the old days with the regular expressions, the I menu would basically, like, of course there are ways to configure it many ways, but
Hmm.
the basic way is it goes to the bottom and then it uses a regular expression to go back. And where it goes is, let's say,
Yeah.
a heading. And then you say,
Yeah.
okay, what type of heading is this a function? Is this a variable? Whatnot. And then you go back all the file. That is the idea. But with the abstract syntax tree, of course, you
Yeah.
don't do that. You just give it the node, and then it knows what to do based on the semantics that you get there. So yeah, it's really nice, and there are many tree-sitter modes built into Emacs, and you can go and you can see how they define their I menu, for example. And usually it's something really, really simple because of the AST doing the heavy lifting.
Hmm. So nice, nice. Yeah, it's an idea. Like it sounds so right that you wonder why we haven't been doing it since the very beginning. Like why we resort to regular expressions. Like you see the code, and this is, I mean, this is part of the even the list DNA where code and data are the same and structure is the same and is very important. Um, and then the jump is so little, like, oh, you know what, code is a tree, is a syntax tree. But yeah, I mean, it never occurred to me also. So but uh,
Yeah, I guess when you are in the business and you have to work, you don't have time to also think about how we should approach this
mm,
architecturally for everybody to have a better experience. Yeah, that's why
mm,
some things, even if they are obvious, they are discovered much later. And we could even say this about scientific discoveries, like why
mm,
was gravity discovered so late, let's say, relatively speaking, like
yeah, yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever, like like
yes.
everybody was experiencing it.
Yeah, you're
But
right.
the thing with the tree sitter is that looking at I think it's called Tree Sit Explore or something. If you do MX Tree Sit
Mhm.
Explore or something like that,
Yeah,
you can basically see the AST where you are, and
yeah,
well, it looks like a Lisp already. Like,
yes, yes, yes.
like you're like, okay, so we had this all along.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Like, yeah, right now it seems like a the idea, but yeah, we haven't done until very very recently. But you know.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. So tell me, how is your job? Like, what does being the head of an engineering team entail? What does your job force in terms of
Mhm.
responsibilities and obligations?
Oh, so what I do basically is I take the credit for the work of other people. So if the idea is good, I go to the C level people and say, "Oh, this is was my idea." And if it's a bad idea, I say, "No, this is this developer. It sucks." Uh, so apart from that, um, so I basically take it. So sometimes we need to make decisions that are kind of very wide on the architectural side of things, like kind of technologies that we're gonna use, or big commitments on how we're gonna develop something which is core for the business or for the application. So I usually take care of that, at least take care of the responsibility of that. It's not that I'm going alone and I just make the decision and the other people doesn't count. Like I always run through run things through the development team. See if what I'm saying is completely stupid. Um, but at the end of the day, the responsibility, especially in our case, like performance is super important.
Mm,
So if the for any reason our web application or our systems are not performing, the responsibility is going to be mine. So I need to be on top of those things. And I feel that to be responsible for that, I should be the one having the last say on how we do certain things.
mm,
Um, I I take care of also if at some point we are not able to get an agreement on how to do certain things, like
mhm,
a few developers have expressed their opinion that we should do this way, and the other people say no, we should do it, and we are not able to get to an agreement. I will have the last word on that. Say,
okay.
to be honest, that's rarely the case.
Mhm,
I can count with my one with fingers of one hand when I will say I will do the Solomonic thing or something like that. To be
mhm,
honest, we always reach a conclusion within the group. Um, I'm also um, I'm also in charge of the development process in like so I measure velocity. I measure which is basically how much stuff are we able to deliver to the customer in a time frame.
okay.
So we have several metrics about that, and I make sure that those things align what we have in mind and what the business side of things are asking for us. So basically, is business side of things said, oh, we want to do this, and this.
Mhm,
Are you gonna be able to do it?
mhm,
So to have a kind of scientific way to do that, I need to be able to measure how much
yes.
stuff are we able to do in a certain period of time. So I can, because I cannot have that longer conversations with the C level. I say in just implementation detail and whatnot. They say, are you gonna be able to do it or not?
Yes,
And I
yes.
say, no, never. It's not gonna happen. No, no, it's not the case. And so that's so I take care of putting in place processes for the also for the day-to-day operations, and regarding like, okay, what's the day for a developer look. In our case, we have or we're trying to have a very defined process where the amount of uncertainty regarding what should be doing today
Mhm, mhm.
is reduced to zero.
Okay.
Like you should be able to go to the office, and it doesn't matter if or work remotely or whatever, and it doesn't matter if it's no manager at all. You go to our tool and say, okay, these are the things that need to be done, and this is the order. This is the things that need to be put in production, and I should be able to put them in production without talking to anyone else. And for all of that, you need a lot of process.
Yes.
To be honest, for what it's worth, I didn't invent any of this. I copy everything from my last job.
Mhm.
Well, they have everything in place, and it was fucking awesome. It worked like a Swiss clock, and I steal everything from there, and now I make it like it's my idea for this new company, and
Yeah,
they love it.
getting into the theme of the role, like.
Yes, yes. I told everybody like that, and they laugh like, what's that you doing? I say I take credit for other people's idea, and they laugh, and I say, I mean, okay.
Very good. So,
No, I mean,
so you have
you
a
know,
tool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Please.
No, just one thing. All in all, for if there's managing people around there or people who wants to go into management position, and they can only get one advice from me is please always give credit to the people that do things, especially when you are sit at the table when they are not sit.
Yes, yes, yes.
Like if you are able to have conversations with the C levels on whatnot, please name the names of the people. Please go ahead and don't even say the development team said so. Do that, but also say the name of the people. Hey, uh, whatever. Raquel did this thing. It was awesome. Victor, this other thing. This idea was from Carlos and that kind of things. Please do that.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
yeah.
Because it also inspires them to put their best self forward, and
Yeah.
yeah, they
And it's the
feel
right thing to, and it's the
recognized, and
right
it's
thing to
the
do.
right thing
Yes.
as well, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yes, yeah, very good. So you have these analytics, which I want to get to, and you also have
Yep.
this tool, the Swiss clock, that is totally yours, about
Yeah.
assigning work. How does
Yeah.
that get organized? Like you are responsible for delegating who does what, or
Uh,
is it more from many sources, and how does it work exactly?
okay. So from the perspective of, I'm gonna center on the perspective of the developer. Okay,
Okay.
because before things get to the developer realm, there's a lot of things that happen before that, like business decisions, the product design, uh, a lot of stuff. So let's focus on things that we already know that we're going to do, and we, for the most part, know how we're gonna do it.
Okay.
So those things go into something which is a kind of a Kanban board, it's called, but whatever. It's a board, like a Trello board or Jira board, or it can be a physical board that has several columns. Uh, your first column is to be released. The next one will be UAT or QA. I will explain all those things. Um, the next, going to the left, is code review. And the last two are in development and to do. So you
Okay.
are a developer, go on Monday, you have nothing to do. You go to the Kanban thing and start dealing with it from right to left. So things on the right have more priority than things on the left.
Okay.
So for us, things on the right are things to be put on production, things to be
Mhm.
released. So
Mhm.
if there's something to be released, you go ahead and you do the release.
Mhm.
Because of a lot of things that happen before that, you should be able to release that without having any knowledge of what that thing does. You should have instructions on the issue or on the PR on how this thing should be put into production. Sometimes there's exceptions. Sometimes there are very big things that need to be synchronized across teams and whatnot. But most of the time, you should be able to not talk to anybody. Go ahead and do the release of that.
Mhm.
If there's
Mhm.
not if there's nothing there, you go to the left, you see the QI or UAT column, and you don't take care of that because that means that those things need to be reviewed by the business side of things or another stakeholder that is not the development team.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Then you go left and you see the code review acceptances. Those are things that your colleagues have done and need to be reviewed by someone. And you can pick whatever you want. If there's several of that, you pick one. Uh,
Okay.
that is that is not yours,
Mhm.
of course. It does. Uh, so you pick up and you need to do a code review. and you need to do at least a little of what we call smoke testing or affected testing. It's not that you are the QA team, but it's not, you should not only review the code and say, oh, this looks good. No, you actually need to do that, but actually need to run the application, do whatever it needs to be done to see if it more or less works. Those things that you need to do are actually documented normal, at least
Okay,
a very subset of that. We also have automatic testing for all of that, and in the context of the code review, that also makes sense because
yeah,
nothing gets past code review if it doesn't have automatic testing, at least.
good, good. And that's why you can
So
be sure when it eventually reaches the final column that you can push it without thinking about other things.
yes, yes, because it has passed like a lot of filters. Does it mean that we don't have bugs? No, by a long shot. But I think we have less bugs and less uncertainty than if we do it uh, other way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, so you do that. If there's nothing on the code review, you then go to left, and there's the to do items where there's usually everybody is assigned to that because those are things that, I'm sorry, not the to do items, with the in development items.
Okay.
So those, there are things that have been working, people are working at this point in time. But sometimes you will find something there that is not assigned to anyone, even
Huh.
though it says in development. Why? That's because something that was on code review uh, was not ready, according to the code reviewer, was not ready to go into the next stage. So it bounced back to,
Ah.
to the development thing. And why doesn't it bounce back to the to do thing? Because it's already ongoing, so it has kind of more
More
priority.
priority, yeah, because otherwise you will have lots of half-baked stuff just hanging around.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, to move something from acceptance to in development things, is there's usually a conversation. Uh, like sometimes, even if something needs to be fixed, it's fixed within that part of the process because you're reviewing something and say, okay, this doesn't look so right. Well, no, let me talk to whoever did this and let's talk about it and what they made the decision, why this thing is not working. Can you fix it without needing for more automated test and whatnot? And sometimes it is fixed within that thing and moves around. But
Mm-hmm.
if the change is big enough to so it's going to need another pass of code review, then it needs to be moved to in development again.
Okay. 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 I see. I see.
And finally, is the to do thing where there are things for you to pick up. We try not to have those things with a specific priority, so you can choose what to work on.
Okay.
But sometimes we need to put some priority on things, so you have not that much autonomy to pick up whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, to be honest, so this process, as I've talked, was exactly how was working in my last company.
Yes. Yes.
Right now we are in the process to make this work in this new company, um, which is it's a little bit difficult right now. Once because they are not accustomed to that, and the other thing is because that thing worked super good to products that were already on production, things
Okay.
that you were improving on, you were
Mm-hmm.
building new things.
Mm-hmm.
But right now in my current company in Buendia, we are rebuilding the whole thing. So
Okay.
kind of different. We're trying to follow this thing, but for something that is not in production for the public, we need to make some accommodations and whatnot. But once we are in production, we will fully embrace this thing.
I'm curious about this now that you mentioned it. So, is it because your production is private that essentially you treat it like a draft that you can still review? Like, what exactly is the problem with it not being public facing?
So I think that what you said is one of the things. Like we are more. So right now we let things. We are more. We are more preoccupied with putting things in production as fast as possible because the environment and the infrastructure is new. So we need eyes and hands as soon as possible
Okay.
testing things on the new environment, which needs to be going public. And we don't know about the stability. It's super stable. If the CEO is seeing this, it's best. Uh, uh, but we need as much real testing on that as possible. So we are not that much preoccupied with this. Is this feature perfect? Have we done like the QA part enough and whatnot?
Mhm.
We need that to be pushed to production or as soon as possible. And also, um, there's training, lack of training for certain people that need to use the application, so they are not able to do the QA right now. And
Okay.
because we want to release this thing, we don't have the time to train them. So we have sometimes we have to skip that kind of things. And the team is new, like super new. Like there are senior programmers and whatnot, but everybody working together. And I mean the engineering team is kind of new. We
Okay.
haven't been working together for a long time. So here's the thing: we have mid junior programmers that know a lot about the business because they have been in the company the longest,
Okay. Okay.
but they are not the senior staff regarding programming experience and whatnot. And
Mhm.
then we have the senior staff with they don't know about the business, but they have a lot of experience on development and whatnot.
Mhm.
So because we have a tight deadline, but guys, if you're seeing this, it's a tight deadline, but we can do it. I trust you. We can do this thing. So we manage things a little bit more hands on.
Aha.
Like I say, hey, this thing, I know you know about this thing. Please get this issue instead of going through the full process. Like get this thing so we can do this thing faster. What I'm
Mhm.
trying to do, even we do that, is that I like to pair people who know about the thing and people who don't know about the thing. So
Okay.
I try to encourage that kind of thing. Like, hey, whatever, you're gonna work on this, but please go talk to this other person so at least he start to know how this thing works.
Yeah.
I don't like information silos, and I don't like every time I see that we start going through like, oh, this is the whatever person, the I don't know,
Yeah. The specialist of the
the
subsystem.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
This is the ticketing person. So every issue on the ticketing goes.
Yeah.
I'm always like, no, 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 no. We have a problem here. We need to stop this as soon as possible.
Mhm.
This could not be the ticketing guy system. It needs to be you need to go and talk to him and start going knowing about this stuff.
Good. 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 Very good. Yeah, of course, because you want to have not basically you don't want to have gatekeepers and you don't want to have dependencies of this sort. Like one person
Yes.
knows everything and it's a single point of failure, basically.
Also, that's one thing, and also it's not fair for that person to be the only one responsible for that thing.
Hmm.
So yeah, the two things.
Because it must also be boring to be, let's say, the ticketing guy. You just do that. Or
So yeah, it depends on the person, you know.
hmm.
I'm also surprised. Are people that are completely content with just working on one thing. It depends on the personality.
Okay, okay.
But even though I care about personality of each and every one of them, for these things I don't care. Like, no, I'm super good working only on these things. Yeah, but I don't care. I need other people to know
Very good.
about these things too.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So having a good team dynamic there. Tell me a
yes.
little bit because you have been in the industry for how many years? I think you told me 15.
At least, yeah, I think it's 17 right now or
7.
18, something like that. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what is the state of the industry? How was it? How is it? Where are we heading to? There is a lot of talk about how AI will destroy the world and we should
Yeah.
welcome our overlords anytime now. So where are we? What is happening? Um, of course,
Okay.
I am
So
exaggerating for effect, but
no, absolutely, absolutely. I know. And also I'm super bad at predicting the future. Super bad.
yeah.
Um, so I'm gonna do so here's the thing. Wow, there's so many things that I want to say are all trying to go at the
Let's
same
start.
time. But
Let's disaggregate them. Let's start with something small.
yes,
How is the business side of things? So, are you hiring? Do you have? Are you growing? Do you have more people? Fewer people? What
yes.
are the constraints financially? Like, let's start with the business
Okay.
side.
In our case, we are hiring. I think we are hiring. I'm even trying to stop the hiring thing because first of all, you need time to onboard people.
Okay.
I don't like big teams. I think I have a very strong opinions of the size of teams. I think that a high performance small team can outperform any day of the any day of the year to a very big team. I know big teams have their place. I don't know for what, but they I mean all the industry seems to think that way. But to be honest, I I see very little things that don't involve art and assets and that kind of thing that cannot be done by a small team. So even though we are hiring and we need to hire, um, I will try that to grow little by little.
Hmm.
So in the business side of things, um, we're doing super good. We don't have VC capital. We don't have like I mean we sell we sell tours that from other people, but we also own tours. Like the company started by the I mean it started by the C. This is awesome. Like the CEO used to do the tours himself like
Okay. Okay.
in a van. He started in a van, and then he get his bus license, and he buy a bus and start doing a bus, and then he hired another guy to do on a bus and whatnot, and now he has a almost 100 um, people company going to into the digital thing and whatnot. It's an awesome story. Like I do not believe in the capitalism thing of the meritocracy and whatnot, and people the rich people deserve it because they build and say I don't believe in that. But then I saw this guy, and this guy made it like that. So yeah. uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um
Success story. Yeah.
Yes, it's a success story.
Uh-huh. Uh,
So
Tell me about the hiring. So, okay, you're hiring. What kind of profile? Of course, you don't have to tell me the like. Is it junior? Is it senior? Is it like? And what kind of skills do they need to have?
so right now I'll say we look for senior people because of the kind of the state of things. We don't have the bandwidth nor the process to do proper mentoring for
Hmm.
junior people. I hope at some point we do. I mean, I hope no. We will at some point we will have some kind of mentoring thing.
Hmm.
We look senior people, and for me, senior people is um, I don't care that much about the technology side of things, like the experience that you have. I don't care if you are a Ruby programmer or a PHP programmer, or I know you can learn the whatever technology stack we are doing. I mean, if you came from another industry, maybe it's a little bit more difficult. Like if you do video games and now you do web development or whatnot, maybe it could be a little bit difficult. So
Okay.
it's always a plus if you are in the industry. Um, I need people that are able to get ownership of things. Like if they pick something to be done, they will do everything in their hands so that thing is done. And sometimes that means raising their hands to say, hey, I need help with this thing.
Hmm.
Or, hey, I have this dependency and whatnot. And Diego, I've been bugging you for a week that we need these things. I'm gonna
Hmm.
keep bugging you because these things need to happen.
Hmm.
Um, I need people that play. I'm gonna say are team players, but I don't know if I like the expressions. But basically, we foster an environment where you are always allowed and encouraged to ask questions and to ask for help.
Yes, yes, yes.
We do not tolerate any kind of people calling stupid to another or that kind of things. Not never. Not because I have a bad day or
Hmm.
whatever. No, that cannot
Hmm.
happen. Everybody should feel free to ask for help, to ask questions and whatnot. And it is my responsibility and the CTO responsibility. See if okay, this guy. I mean, he's asking a lot of questions because he lied to us and he doesn't know anything and whatnot. That could happen,
Okay.
but the rest, at least the rest of the team, shouldn't be bothering with that thing. If somebody's asking for help and you are able to help him or her, you do that. You need to foster that kind of environment.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So
And yeah, basically that. With adults, we hire adults.
yeah, I
Is
was
is
about to
that
say basically responsible people.
Yes,
Uh,
yes,
mhm,
but it's
mm.
difficult to be honest. But yeah, it's just that.
Because this, of course, it's the kind of thing that you don't just test with a standard test where you will test
Yeah,
for other skills. It's something that you need to see in the person more.
yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. Because
Hmm.
the other kind of test, to be honest, we are kind of screwed because everybody's using AI these days to do the code things,
Yeah, yeah,
and it shows, guys. We know what you're doing.
yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's the thing. If something has been automated to such a degree where basically AI is the way to go, maybe that also speaks to the process itself, which was kind of lazy a little bit. Like
okay,
at some point it was so streamlined that it was missing the individualities of people. Is what I'm saying.
okay.
So
Uh,
standardized.
yes, yes. I see your point, and I think it's a valid point. I'm gonna confront that
Uh huh.
with anecdotal evidence,
Good, good.
the worst kind of evidence. So, if if I'm sending you kind of a coding challenge or whatnot that you need to work on your house at
Uh-huh.
your own pace and whatnot, and that thing involves I know building something that it interacts with an external LPA.
Hmm.
It takes data from the APA, do something, transform it, put it into a database. So basically, web development
Hmm.
101
Hmm.
for you. And then you go ahead and use AI, and you have the great idea of, instead of using the HTTP client that you have on the standard library,
Okay.
you present as a re-implementation of the HTTP client, because the AI said, oh, this has a, I don't know, whatever, security flaw or whatnot. I mean, come on, guy. Like I is to be honest, it's not that I don't want you in my team because you use AI. I don't want you in my team because you thought it was a good idea to re-implement the HTTP client from the standard
Yeah.
library.
It's your judgment, not the way you got. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so, but yeah, I mean, if the so regarding the AI things, of course, if something helps, it's not like I mean, when Stack Overflow raise or Google or whatnot, is not like, no, you should not use Google or you should not use Stack Overflow or whatnot. I mean, use it uh, within reason. I mean, I don't care. To be honest, I don't care whether the developers get their code, as they need to do it on time, and they need to have certain quality and be responsible of the result.
Mhm. Mhm.
Honestly, this is not the company's idea, but for me, I don't even care how much they work. I don't care.
Mhm.
For me, if somebody was able to do the amount of work that we are kind of expecting, and they somehow do it in 2 hours a week,
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't care. I know this is not the way to run a business, and that's why I don't run the business. Uh,
But
but
yeah, I get the principle. Yes, yes, of course. What you care about is results, and what you care about is
yes,
responsibility slash ownership of those results.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So, and one of the things that worries me with AI is that, at least at this point, and that's what I'm seeing, at least in the near future, you actually need to review what the AI is outputting. And for that, you need to be a senior developer. And if
Hmm.
you start in the industry right now, and you base your knowledge and your output in the AI output, you will never reach the amount of seniority to actually be able to review the code. So you are
Mhm.
doing yourself, if you are not actually understanding what you are doing and actually learning about the fundamentals and the technology and the practice and whatnot, you are doing yourself a disservice in the future.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because yeah, if somebody is gonna be obsolete, is gonna be the the beginning of the tail of the developers. So
Mhm.
I know it's difficult in this day and age not to go to ChatGPT or whatever and put the thing there. I'm sorry, but you need to go deeper. You need to
Mhm.
get a book. You need to get your hands dirty, and you need to write things yourself if you don't
Mhm.
want to be replaced by the overlords.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then the last thing is that I'm not, by any means, I'm not an expert in AI. I don't know how that thing works. I mean, I have I I mean, I have a bachelor's degree in computer science, so I know a little bit, but not an expert at all.
Okay.
Um, but what I do know is that there's no a single AI company right now that is making money.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single one. They are not only not making money, they are burning money, like literally burning money, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've seen how the investors, the shark type the investors, the fuck the earth investors, like they don't care about anything that is not uh, return. I see, I saw, sorry, how they turn their heads on the other things and put everything into the AI.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And those guys are not there for the long term game.
Okay.
Those guys are there for the get rich and get richer as fast as possible, as much as possible, don't caring about the organically growth, or even if the business is long term sustainable.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What you care about is to ride the wave of enthusiasm, make money in the
Yes.
meantime, and then let the earth burn. You don't care.
Yes. And
Mm.
right now, that's the thing. Like, there's no company, not even with the subscriptions, not even if everybody that is using, at least is what I understand, everybody that's using is paying what they are asking for to pay, will make these companies actually make money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
do with that information, do whatever you want. And
yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
even talking about the environmental impact of that. That I haven't looked into it because I don't want to feel absolutely shit every time I go to Perplexity or ChatGPT and ask for that, and I'm wasting 1 million liters of water or something like that. But it's probably bad. uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, that opens up a big question about how our societies are organized in general. Because even if you avoid, let's say, all of the chatbots on these grounds, well, that's still not enough because collectively we are not implementing concerted actions. So even if
yeah.
you avoid it, others don't. So eventually, yeah, we will need more to do stuff and
Oh,
consider them. But
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
what you are saying
absolutely.
is, of course, yeah, to the point.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And the individual responsibility can go what it can go. I mean,
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
meaningful change, yeah, we need some other kind of
Hmm.
organizations and other kind of decisions at the state levels and whatnot to do things.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
But just to keep this to the technical side, now, of course, the
Yeah.
companies may have a strategy where they want to gain the market and then profit from that. Like first you have the clients and then you make them pay. But we will see how
Yeah.
that goes. From the perspective of the junior developer, basically what
Hmm.
you are saying is if I understand it correctly, is of course you can use AI to have it give you code, but eventually
Yeah.
what matters is that you understand what you are dealing with. Like you don't
Yes.
just take the code and you paste it in and that's good.
Yeah.
Like it's as if you wrote it, but it's just that the AI wrote it, but you understand every line of
Yes.
it. Hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hmm.
And for that, you probably need to. No, probably no. I'm sure you need to learn about fundamentals that are not even outputted that kind of code, and you need to do um, you need to do conscious effort to do that, because if you go to the to your issue and you put it into ChatGPT and it outputs at least some part of the code, like you're kind of doing your job,
Hmm.
and the things that you will need to keep your job are probably outside your job. You need to take a step backwards and say, okay, I need to learn those things. I need to learn why the AI make these decisions, why this code is good or is not good and whatnot. And it's not even part of your current job. It's part of knowing about computers and and programming and whatnot.
I see, I see, I see. So basically, if we want to put an optimistic spin on this, at this stage, at least, what you are seeing is that AI is competing with those who are not willing to put in the work. I mean, for
Uh,
positions.
yes, yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay, okay.
yes.
So,
I just, yeah, yeah.
mhm.
I think so.
Of course,
Like
simplifying. Of course, I'm sure
sim.
there are cases where it's
Yeah, yeah,
different.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that it will. So here's the thing. I think the trend right now is like, oh, this is the worst time to be a new programmer. That's this. I think it's that this is kind of the trend because it's gonna be obsolete and whatnot. That may be true, but at the same time, I think that right now, if you put the hours on actually being a programmer, it's gonna give you an advantage, a competitive advantage in the future because you will be one of the guys or the girls that actually know how things work,
Hmm.
and 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 we're gonna need those at least even for to foresee our overlords output.
Exactly. Check that it's correct.
Yeah.
What would be a good way for a junior developer to gain those skills? Maybe contributing to free software and open source software? Or like, because of course you can read books, you can do all those formal studies, but maybe you need also some street smart on top of the book smart, let's say.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for view
Hmm.
for that because I think it depends on I think doing a little bit of or a lot of both things is super good. You of course you cannot remain on the theoretically realm. You need to build the stuff.
Hmm.
I don't care that much if that stuff is contributing to open source or building something your own and well making it open source or why not. You need to build things that absolutely you need to practice it. How you get your knowledge to start building things, if you are able to get the quote unquote education from YouTube and blogs and whatnot, I've seen people do that and be
Hmm.
successful with that. Go ahead. If you, me, for example, I'm a rara avis in that regard. I like formal education. Like
Hmm.
I work better on an environment with you know the teacher and even if that's a course, like I do better doing a course than reading blog posts and whatnot and having a book, especially if the books have exercise and whatnot. Like I'm a
Uh-huh.
yeah, I could be a Victorian children or something like that. So me myself, I do better in that kind of. Even though I of course consume other types of contents and a lot of them in other formats. But I work better in that environment.
Hmm.
But there are other people who struggle in that environment. Like I cannot be seated listening to this guy and then doing some exercise and whatnot and being guided. I need to do my own stuff all the time, do my own pace and whatnot. That's okay. I've seen that work also. So yeah,
Okay,
whatever
okay,
floats
okay.
your boat. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good, good. But generally, the vibe I got from you is that you care about the results and you are not micromanaging people in terms of, oh, you have to have this very specific profile and you have to be this
No,
replica
no,
of what I have.
no, absolutely. And there's people who are brilliant in one side of things and not so much in others,
Hmm.
and they can, I mean, yeah. That's why we have teams and not solo developers, so we can complement one another and learn from one another. And yeah. So
Yes, yes, good, good, good. Let's switch gears. So, of course, we have gone past the hour, but I still want to ask a very few things, like a little bit about
got
yourself, because we went with the flow of the technical issues, and I wanted to learn about it. But I also want to learn about the person. So, you, like, what do you do outside of these topics? Like, do you have a hobby? Do you travel with maybe go on tours or whatever? Like, what do you do? Like,
so I have a lot of interest that I the problem with my interest, I mean, not the problem, the interests are fine. The problem is working. Working takes a lot of time from my interests.
mm.
Uh, but so normally what I do outside work, I do combat sports.
Oh.
I do. You already have a conversation with this guy that does Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I
Yeah,
also
yeah.
do Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, but I've
Wow.
been doing it for a few years only.
Mm-hmm.
I do the one with the gi and the one without the gi. It's called grappling sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, I started doing also a little bit of kickboxing.
Mm.
So a lot of my, or a lot, yeah, kind of my spare time goes there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I um, I like to play video games, and right now I'm seriously learning how to play Street Fighter 6 because fighting games have been always that have interested me, but I've never put like the okay, now I'm gonna learn how this thing works.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm putting quote unquote a lot on effort on learning how to play Street Fighter 6,
Uh-huh.
having a blast.
Ah, nice.
Um, I have so now since 2 years ago, I live in the countryside with my wife and my cat.
Uh-huh.
And the thing with the countryside is that you used to have to do chores inside the house only. Now you have to do chores inside the house and outside the house. So there's always something to do. Yeah, I remember myself when we bought a piece of land, and I was like, will this piece of land be enough? I don't know. Will we have a space to grow a garden and vegetables and whatnot? I tell you now, yes, half the space will have been enough also. So
The
yeah.
thing is, just to, of course, I will comment on everything, but just to comment on the last part. Of course, you can take a lot of land, but then you will be cultivating it. You will have to maintain it. You will do more
Oh,
work.
yes, yes, and it's a lot of work, and everything grows. Everything that you don't want to grow, it grows, and the things that you want to grow, they don't, and yeah. But it's I wouldn't change this for anything, and especially I mean my cat roams around we're kind of outside a village, but there are houses. It's not like we are isolated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And our cat can go inside and outside whatever he pleases, except at night. At night, when he cares at night, we close, and it's time to be here because there are other things that can eat my cat, and
Yes,
I
of
don't
course.
I don't want that to happen,
No,
and
no.
I don't know if he knows about that. But he roams around. We actually bought him a GPS.
Ah,
Um,
nice. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
so we can see, otherwise we were I mean we were warrior sick sometimes because you don't see that motherfucker. He goes
Uh,
whatever, and it's not like a dog
no,
where
cats are stealth, silent.
yes, and
Yeah,
also
yeah.
you can call him and maybe he decides to come or not, uh, depending on what he's doing and what not. Sometimes he's actually sleeping and he sees you but you don't see him, and even if you call him because he's seeing you, it's like, you're okay, I'm not gonna go. If he doesn't see you, sometimes he comes like, hey, is everything okay? And then he goes away.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So he loves being here, and yeah, when we love being here,
Wonderful.
but there's a
What
lot of work.
what's the countryside like? Is it mountains? Of course, in your country there are lots of mountains, but is it mountainous? Is it plains? Is it like what is it like?
So
Is there a
um,
forest?
it's a lot of green because we have kind of a lot of rain here. Um, the region I'm in, it has quite some mountains, but they are not even. I wouldn't say even mountains. So it's not plain. Like it's difficult to find a
Hmm.
terrain to play soccer.
Mm-hmm.
But because everything is a little bit inclined, but
Yeah.
it's not like there's a lot of mountains and whatnot. And this region, so it's a lot of green. We have the sea is quite close. Is by car is like 15 minutes. We can go to
Oh,
the
very
beach,
close, very close. Yeah.
and the forest. Normally, the forests go even like you exit the forest, and then there's the sand and the beach.
Oh,
Uh,
nice, nice.
so yeah, it's super nice. It's super beautiful. It's in the north of Spain. The only thing is that yeah, we don't have the same amount of sun that they have in the south regions, which actually how things are is even is good. Um, so yeah, that's the vibe
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
of the place.
And so, because you mentioned the combat sports,
Yep.
and you live in the countryside, so is there like a gym nearby or a
No,
club? Or
I go to
Mhm.
so there's the big city is 20 minutes from here by car.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So and I go there because I go to the office. Even though I'm able to work remotely, I like to be in the office. So I go to the office. So what I do is I take my car, I park it right in front of the gym,
Mm-hmm.
go to work, and then when I'm out of work, I change my backpack and go to the gym, then
Ah,
and then
nice.
take my car and go home. So that's what
Very
I do.
nice. Yeah, 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 nice. Me, where I am, it's far from the city, and there are no clubs of this sort. So,
How
unfortunately,
far
yeah.
are how far are you from the kind of big city or whatnot?
So by bus, it's 1 hour
Hmm.
plus, 1 hour 15 minutes
Oh
or something.
wow, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So there is that. But yeah, otherwise, if I had the opportunity, I would definitely like to do some sport because I think it's fun, of course, as well.
Yeah, for me, I didn't finish yet the interview that you had with, I don't remember the name. It was the guy from Minnesota.
Hmm.
Um,
So from
so
Minnesota, it's Eric.
yeah,
Hmm.
so and I don't know if he mentioned it. For me, one of the best things about jiu-jitsu and combat sport.
Sorry, Jiu-Jitsu is Thomas. So
It's Thomas.
yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
that's the other guy. Yeah, yeah. So
okay.
from Minnesota is the guy who is also a musician.
I'm mixing. I'm
Yeah,
mixing
yeah, yeah,
names.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah. Yeah.
sorry.
No, no, bro.
So, um, so for me, one of the best things is that as I think many people in this world, I struggle with uh, with your mind always thinking about stuff, and not the stuff that you're doing right now, but things you do in the past, things you're gonna do in the future, and whatnot.
Hmm.
And some people meditate, some people run. I like to choke out people or not to get choked out by other people. And the thing is, yeah, rather try not to be choked out with people. To if I'm honest, and the thing is that I get that for free
Yeah.
because when you're quote unquote fighting or fighting for your life, there's nothing else.
Yes.
because that's not you can even if you want to say, oh, I remember this thing in high school that I say to this girl, it was awful, or oh, I need to fix the pipe, and one you cannot, because this other guy who's trying to quote unquote hurt you, uh, and I feel even if my body feels horrible, my mind is in the happiest
Yes.
place ever, and it lasts. It's the thing with sport that
Yeah.
the high lasts for a long time. It's better than drugs. Most of the drugs probably.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the thing. Like, that's part of the thing that many people don't appreciate, which is exactly how you can unplug and do something completely different. And now you basically give your mind the chance to essentially reset, relax, recharge. And especially when it's something that is uncomfortable or that engenders a sense of discomfort, like what you described,
Mhm.
like somebody is choking you, like, I think that's extra good because exactly you are disconnecting in full, as you described.
Yeah.
And there is also another thing to sport, which is the sense of respect you have towards your fellow sports people, because you know that for them to do that, just as you do that, it's difficult. And when somebody competes, you know that they put in a lot of work, and you respect that.
I was just now that you mentioned, so yesterday I went to see some of my partners compete in a team event in front of public and whatnot, and I didn't compete. I was just there to see them. I was with my wife, and I was almost sick with the stress, not even competing. So I'm like, guys, like you are superheroes, like doing this thing, fighting somebody who is not from the gym, like is going to, even if you train hard, it's not the same when you are
No.
competing. When you are competing, the other guy is actually trying to kill you, uh, in front of your peers, in front of other people. Is yeah, it's actually hats on for the people that compete, no matter the result. I compete only a couple of times. It was one of the worst experience in my life. Um, I think at some point I will repeat, just to put myself in that situation. But I do not like it. I do not enjoy
Mm.
it. Yeah, super hard to do. Lots of respect for the people who do that kind of things.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. And one final question about this. How do you find the people who are hyper competitive in this regard? Because my experience, I'm speaking for myself as well, but also about
Yeah.
others, my experience is that people who are, let's say, really into sport
Yeah.
actually are really calm outside of it. But when it comes to the game itself, when it comes to the fight or the game,
Yes.
there I take no prisoners. It's like,
Yes.
yeah, I
And it
hold nothing
happens.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it happens in. I think it happens in all sports. I know you used to play soccer like a lot. I did that in my youth. I did that for 9, 10 years or something like that.
Mm.
And I also experienced that, like people who were super calm and whatnot. When there was game day, they were they were killers. Like the whole personality changed. I'm like, Guy, what the fuck?" Yeah, yeah, it happens here too. Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know how people are able to. I mean, everybody is at least a little bit competitive. You want to do good, you want to do bad, but yeah, there are levels on. Yeah, we have one instructor, the main instructor of jiu-jitsu, who's actually a world champion by some federation, one, which is an awesome guy. He's also a professor at the university and whatnot. And when you train with other instructors, obviously, especially with me, the instructors are much better than me. So sometimes they need to let you get to a positions that you won't be able to get by yourself. They are letting you
They let you
get into
win.
position.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they let you win a little
yeah.
bit. This instructor has never ever let me or anybody else get into a position that you haven't get. So for me, I haven't get into any attacking position with him ever. And he's the nicest. But is a competitive, and at his core, he's competitive. So nope, not going to happen. It's super weird, super weird.
That's the thing. That's the thing. But on the positive side is that this kind of aggression, let's call it, is contained within the sport. So in a sense,
Yeah.
it's good for society. Like yeah, it's just the sport, but then otherwise, it's a nice person.
Oh, yeah. I see. Yeah. I only like to watch on TV or whatnot. I only like to watch combat sports. I find the rest of the sports I find it very boring and whatnot. And I think that's a contradiction. Like I find myself like a kind of educated and sensible and whatnot. And but at the same time, I love to watch two guys trying to kill each other. I need, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's not that I say, oh, everybody should be watching this. This is the best thing, but yeah, I see also as a way to, as you said, to contain certain things that are within us, we like it or not,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
and to make it as civilized as possible. And yeah,
that's the thing. Like they are within us. Like, of course, we can pretend that we are angels, but in reality, we are wolves. And the
yeah.
thing is that, of course, we have reason as well, and we can control ourselves. But the thing is that we have to recognize that we are not angels.
No, we're not. Yeah, we're not. We're more animals than we think we are, and sometimes, yeah, that's that.
Yeah, yeah. Very
And
good, very good.
also it's a very o- eye-open experience to happens
Mm,
to everybody who do this kind of things, which is please don't get into trouble in the street. You
yes,
never know if you are facing, and I'm not even talking about someone having weapons and those kind of things. Even the some people, you never know if what you have in front of you is a fucking killer. Like I was more, I've never been aggressive, but I always have this delusion thing of, oh, if I'm in a street fight, I'm gonna do this or whatnot. Now that I actually know how to do some things, I will fucking run unless I don't have any other option. I don't want to know anything about fighting some guy in the street.
exactly.
Like I don't want to know anything. You can get fucked. Like you don't even know it. Yes.
Yes, yes, that's the best strategy. And actually, it's what happens in nature as well. Animals avoid, like, will take flight. They won't fight
Yeah.
unless they have no other option. And that's the best
Yes.
because, of course, you don't know what you're dealing with. Exactly.
Yeah.
Very well, very well. We had a very nice time. Thank you very much. Also, nice jokes there.
Thank you, Prot.
um, you're welcome. You're welcome. So I say we call it a day. Take care and
Thank
good luck
you.
with everything. And any links you have, just let me know and I will include them in the description.
Okay. Okay, I will probably not send anything, so I don't want people to find me. Just leave me alone. No, I don't think I have anything worth
That's fine.
showing.
That's fine.
Thank you again. I think I say that before we record. I'm a very admired of your work, and also I'm a big fan of how you convey things. Um, Not only in the technical side of things, I like how to convey things in your philosophical post and whatnot. And it's a pleasure and an honor that you share those things with people, even when you don't even kind of care about the impact of that. But yeah, from my point of view, you're doing a great job and all those things. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Very well. So let's call it a day then and see how it goes.
Have a nice
Take
day.
take care, Diego. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So closing, and I am stopping the recording. Take care, folks. Goodbye.